Hello students of 10th standard. We have started the lesson that is nothing but lesson number 2, life processes in living organism. Up till now we have seen the various steps for the oxidation of the nutrients, that is nothing but glycolysis and TCA cycle. The next one we are going to see is nothing but a electron transfer chain reaction. So what does this reaction tells us that we are going to see today? See here, molecules of NADH2. What do we call NADH2? NADH2 is nothing but nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and FADH2. FADH2 is nothing but flavin adenine dinucleotide. These both of the molecules are formed during all above processes. Means which are the processes? The processes are nothing but glycolysis and TCA cycle. Now what does this NADH2 and FADH2 does? They are formed in the above processes, we know that. They participate in the electron transfer chain reaction. That means both of this NADH2 and FADH2, they are participating in the electron transfer chain reaction. Now what happens due to this? See, due to this the three molecules of ATP. What is ATP? Adenine triphosphate. That three molecules of ATP form each FADH2 molecule, and beside ATP, water molecules are also formed in this reaction. That means what is formed in this reaction? See here, three molecules of ATP. ATP are nothing but the energy rich molecules, and from each FADH2 molecule, what happens here? Three molecules of ATP are formed from FADH2 molecule, and ATP, beside this ATP water molecule are also formed in this reaction. Now electron transfer chain reaction is operated in the mitochondria only. So see, it takes place only in the mitochondria. Thus a molecule of glucose is completely oxidized in aerobic respiration, and molecules of CO2 and H2O are produced along with the energy. What happens here? See here, molecule of glucose, it is completely oxidized. Completely oxidized means there is an addition of an oxygen. So as there is an oxygen involved, we call it as a aerobic respiration. And the molecules of CO2 and H2O are produced along with the energy, you can say. Then see what is there? NADH2, that is nothing but nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and FADH2, that is nothing but flavin adenine dinucleotide. Next we are going to see that is nothing but ATP. ATP means what? Adenine triphosphate. It is nothing but a ATP. ATP is nothing but a adenine triphosphate, and it is nothing but a energy rich molecule, and energy is stored in that ATP molecules because they are the energy rich molecules. And ATP is nothing but a energy rich molecule, and see here, energy is stored there. Energy is stored in ATP. How it is stored? It is stored in the bonds by which of the phosphate groups are also attached to each other. That means what does this tells us? ATP is nothing but a adenine triphosphate, and it is nothing but a energy rich molecule, and this energy rich molecule, they have bonds in them, and these bonds have also the phosphate groups in them which are attached to each other. these molecules are stored in the cells. Where they are stored? They are stored in the cells as per need. That means whenever you need the energy, as per the need, this energy is, you can say, given to the cells. Chemically, ATP is triphosphate molecule. As we say that ATP is nothing but adenine triphosphate. That means it is nothing but a triphosphate molecule which is formed from adenosine ribonucleoside. It contains a, you can say, nitrogenous compound that are nothing but adenine, pentose sugar, ribose and 3-phosphate groups. See here, once again we will see the ATP. So what is ATP? ATP is nothing but a adenine triphosphate and it is nothing but a energy rich molecule. Here energy is stored in the form of the bonds, or by which you can say phosphate groups are also attached to each other. These molecules are stored in the cells. Where they are stored? They are stored in the cells. And as per their need, they are provided to the cells. Chemically, if you see, ATP is nothing but a triphosphate molecule and which is formed from adenosine ribonucleoside. It contains, you can say, nitrogenous compounds like adenine, pentose sugar, then ribose and 3-phosphate groups. As per the need, whenever you see, as there is a need of each and every cell to get the energy to do the work, what is done? The ATP provides the energy and this energy is derived by breaking the, you can say, phosphate bonds. The phosphate bonds whichever you are seeing. Now, whenever we are teaching the ATP, at that time there is a, you can say, breaking of the phosphate bonds of the ATP. Then and then only the energy may be derived by breaking the phosphate bonds. Hence ATP is also called as a energy currency of the cell. Now next point that we are going to study, that is nothing but a currency, or you can say energy currency. Now what we know, see that ATP is nothing but an energy rich molecule. After breaking the bonds, it is converted into ADP. That means what it is here, see, ATP is nothing like a, it is like a full battery in charge, and ADP is nothing but a, you can say, a less battery charging. Then see what happens here. This is nothing but a ATP molecule with, you can say, adenine and ribose and phosphate groups are there here. So what happens whenever there is a, you can say, oxidation of this, what happens? The phosphate bonds are broken down with more energy, and here what happens here, that we are going to get the adenine ribose and inorganic phosphate we are getting, and there is a, you can say, energy release. Once again I will tell you, see, this is nothing but a ATP rich molecule with adenine and ribose plus phosphate bonds are there. So what happens whenever there is a oxidation of this, or you can say breaking down of this ATP molecule, what happens? The phosphate bonds are broken, which has much energy in them, and they are converted into inorganic phosphate and we get the energy released. Now see, if there is a, you can say, insufficient amount of a carbohydrates. Now we know that carbohydrates are the nutrients whichever we are taking during our meals, and suppose if we take less carbohydrates, what happens? We know that carbohydrates gives us energy. If we take a less amount of carbohydrates in our body, so what happens? If there is a, you can say, exceptional case like fasting or hunger is there, at that time we are not taking the meals. That means the carbohydrate is not taken. So what happens at that time? See, the lipids and the proteins, which are already stored into the body, they are used for the energy production. In case of lipids, they are converted into fatty acids. That means the lipids, whichever are of a fatty substances, which are nothing but the fatty substances, they are converted into fatty acids. Whereas proteins are converted into, you can say, amino acids. Fatty acids and amino acids are very important, or they are converted into, you can say, acetyl coenzyme, and the energy is obtained through complete oxidation of this acetyl coenzyme by the Krebs cycle, which is present in the mitochondria. What does this tells us? That this tells us whenever there is a hunger, at that time the lipids, or you can say proteins, whichever are already stored into the body, they work as the energy production. So what they do actually, the lipids get converted into fatty acids. The lipids get converted into fatty acids, and whereas the proteins get converted into amino acids, and these fatty acids, or you can say the amino acids, gets converted into acetyl coenzyme, and this acetyl coenzyme is very important because energy is obtained through the complete oxidation of this, you can say, acetyl coenzyme, and this is done by the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria. In today's lecture, we have seen the electron transport chain. Then again, we have seen the ATP molecule, what is the meaning of the ATP molecule. Then again, we have seen the energy currency. We have seen how the lipids and proteins, they are used whenever there is a hunger, or you can say fasting. The next points we will see in next lecture.